Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I'm not gonna lie. The first few minutes of this episode didn't really do anything. First 22 something minutes, hell, actually, tell you the truth, the first half an hour, I felt like it didn't really do too much for me. It was only within that half an hour that things started to get better. So Stella's in the hospital. She finally wakes up. Everyone's gathered around her. Everyone is apologetic. Curtis says sorry. Everyone in the room practically says sorry. And TJ says sorry for his mom. And Stella is like, you know what? Listen, this isn't on you. This is on me for butting my nose into other people's business. And people wasn't trying to call. I was like, no. We are not working backwards. Okay? Listen, it sucks what happened to Stella. It really does. But if she learned something from this, how about we just go with that trend? How about we just go with that trend? She finally learned, sticking her nose in other people's business doesn't end well. Especially given her condition. Getting all angry, getting all stressed, getting all worked up. That's not good for anyone. That's not good for somebody even my age, let alone her age with, her prior conditions and stuff. So, that's one thing that I was actually really happy about. And that's why halfway through that scene, when people was like, no, this is my... I was like, no, you shut your damn mouth. You let that woman take responsibility. We're not moving backwards. Cam and Jocelyn was there for a little bit, and they left. Cam went back to work, and Cam is feeling bad. He's feeling kind of guilty. He felt like he should have did more, and Jocelyn's like, listen, you did everything you could. You did everything right. Stop kicking yourself. So up until this point, I was like, yeah, a little bit. And then Joey Novak comes in. And I'm like... it was just such a tense scene for the first few minutes. I mean, Joey came in creepy as hell. This dude is all like, oh, I noticed that you two are together. And, you're starting volleyball practice this year. And, PCU. And all sorts of stuff like that. Stuff that he shouldn't know. Stuff that he shouldn't even know. And I gotta give Jocelyn credit because Jocelyn was not, afraid. Like this, the way that he came at her, any other person would have been, nervous. Would have been intimidated. But she was like, yo, I don't know how you know half of the stuff that you know. You don't know me, I don't know you, and I want to stay that way. And Cam was like, yo, you gotta back up, go somewhere else, you need to be gone. But Joey just kept sitting there talking like, yo, I want you to give your family a message. And that's when Jocelyn was like, oh, you mean Jason? You want me to give Jason a message? Oh, sure, no. I'll make sure that I give Jason a message that we talked. Because it should go over real well. And, once he left, Jocelyn left. Cam is upset, because Cam felt like he should have did more. I mean, Jocelyn, after a while, Jocelyn was doing most of the talking, but Cam felt like he should have did more. I'm kind of looking at the situation. It's not like Cam was just being, trying not to curse or anything like that, but, it wasn't like Cam was, scared or nervous or anything like that. He did tell that, he did tell him to back off, but with that being said, he still felt like his manhood was tested. So he's at the gym, he's punching the bag without gloves. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's punching the bag. Jason's like, yeah, you might want to stop before you hurt yourself. So he kind of teaches him, some techniques or whatever to kind of help him out. He's like, what are you angry about? And that's when Cam is like, he talks about the jerk, at Kelly's, Joey Novak. And that's just like, okay, alright. Now, meanwhile, Jax is sitting there talking to Carly like, oh, what is going on with this marriage? It's more than what you're just sitting there saying. Let me know what's going on. If there's danger, what's up? Like, what's going on with your marriage? Like, And of course, they get back into this conversation about how Jax feels that Carly is getting herself too deep into the mob. She has children. One of them is Jocelyn. And at this point, he's like, yo, listen, I don't want Jocelyn getting caught up in whatever your crap is. Whatever's going on, I want her out of this. And, Carly's like, yo, it's fine, I got it handled, don't worry, stop bothering me, get off my back or whatever. Because she's sitting over there, she's folding towels or whatever, and I'm like, even I'm looking at this like, don't you, have people for that? But, she's all, about stress or whatever. But she's like, yo, listen, I got this covered or whatever, let it go. Now, Jocelyn does come up to the pool, she does go up to Carly, she's like, yo, listen, just let you know, a creep was, bothering me named Joey Novak, and he was all trying to intimidate me and yada yada yada. Meanwhile, Jax is on the other side, just hearing this whole conversation, and he's pissed. And to be honest, listen, I know some people have problems with Jax. I have my issues with Jax, but this is exactly what Jax was sitting there worried about. This is exactly what Jax was sitting there talking about when he was sitting there talking to Carly about being too close to the business. I want to move to Vegas one day. Being too close to the business and, all the other stuff. This is all the stuff that he was concerned about. And now he's sitting there hearing this, and he's hearing Jocelyn's response about how, yeah, no, it's okay. It didn't bother me. It is what it is. I just have to be with a guard. Whatever. There's just something that she should just accept. He's just not happy. And to be honest, I can't blame him. I 100% cannot blame Jax for how he feels. And, I mean, in this whole conversation, I gotta side with Jax. I gotta side with Jax. Listen, like I said, I don't really like Jax sometimes. Most of the times, but when it comes to his daughter, I understand where he's coming from. So, the minute that, Jocelyn leaves, Carly's about to walk out and he sees Jax, and, Jax is like, alright, so what danger did you get, our daughter into? And Carly just has that defensive look on her face, and I'm like, please, Carly, go right ahead, explain that. I want you to sit there and explain. I want you to sit there and try to defend yourself on that, because, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and go with Morgan, because that was different, but Michael, So, Brooklyn and Sasha have a meeting at the Metro Court or whatever. And, Sasha's like, I got a big surprise for you or whatever, And at first, Brooklyn's like, what? Am I getting a raise? I'm like, sweetheart, you're rich. You literally are rich. And you have the audacity to sit there and say, am I getting a raise? Okay, whatever, Brooklyn. But, Sasha's like, no, you're going to be getting an assistant. And at first, Brooklyn's like, okay, so are they going to have business experience? Are they going to be able to kind of, match my pace? What's going on? This, that, and the third. And that's when, Brooklyn has all these expectations for this, assistant. And Sasha's like, yeah, you might want to kind of just lower them. By a lot. And then Gladys walks up, and I'm like, the sad part about Gladys and his situation is that even though Gladys, from appearance-wise, looks a lot better, okay? And I can't believe I'm sitting there saying this, that she looks a lot better. The problem with that is that she's still Gladys. But she walks over and she just starts shooting off her mouth. And Brooklyn's like, are you serious? So I'm sitting there looking at this whole situation. I'm like, Sasha, your bright idea to get rid of her is by pawning her off to Brooklyn. Listen, I may have my issues with Brooklyn, but that's just wrong. I mean, you literally just pawned off that to her. It's like if I asked my friend to sit there and hold a bag of manure for me, just for a couple of weeks until, my house guests leave. You know? I can't imagine any of my friends being like, yeah, no, it's cool. I understand. No. That's literally what she did. She literally handed her off a bag of manure. Okay? A bag of poop. And at first, Gladys is by the bar. And, because Gladys had a couple of free samples or whatever. And she's, I guess, showing this other woman or whatever. She's talking to her about it. And she seems like she's, reeling her in and whatever. Because she was talking about how she was working at some sort of, apparently, a pyramid scheme. Which Brooklyn did sit there and call it out. Like, yo, listen, you were working at a pyramid scheme. Like, what are you talking about? You should be in jail along with them. I was a victim, too. Yeah, okay. But she seems like she's doing good or whatever. She's kind of moving her along. But then she says something about a pause or something like that, and that was pretty much about it. Meanwhile, Sasha is trying to do everything in her power to convince Brooklyn that hiring Gladys as her assistant is a good idea. I'm just like, okay. So finally, when that didn't work, she guilt tripped her. It's all like, oh, well, Mike liked her, and their cousins, and Sonny, spoke about her, and Brooklyn's like, I don't remember her speaking so highly about Gladys, but okay. But finally, she's like, you know what, listen, I like Mike, so, alright, fine, I'll do it. There's one part of this conversation when Brooklyn's there talking to Sasha. Brooklyn's talking to Gladys. And Gladys is like, because, Brooklyn gives her some sort of compliment, and I'm just like, ew, gross. But she gives her a compliment, and, Gladys is like, do you have a child of your own? Do you have children of your own? And she just looks like she's just thinking about it. And, finally she's like, yeah, no, well, she's a newborn, so, sometimes I just kind of forget that I still, that I have her or something like that. And even Gladys was just like, now, I'm like, if Dingbat Poof for Brains is sitting there looking at you like, what is wrong with you? You can tell at some point, whatever this plan is going to just blow up right in her damn face. But hopefully Maxie could sit there and come back through and salvage whatever this is. I honestly tell you the truth, at the end of this whole thing, so many people are going to be mad at Brooklyn and Maxie. I have a feeling that it sucks is that I feel like Brooklyn's going to take most of the blame. I mean, it was kind of Brooklyn's idea, so I still feel like she's going to take more heat than Maxie should. I feel like it should be 50-50, personally. I still feel like that, but whatever. Terry's sitting there trying to get Britt to, agree to this co-captain crap. And, Britt's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Monica's office, and I'm going to sit there and practically tell her, no, because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. There's no way in hell I'm doing it. I didn't know why she even suggested that we do it. I'm still wondering about myself. But she's like, yeah, no, I'm good. She has to talk with Jax. They talk about Jason. They talk about her job. And I don't know if Jax said something along the lines that kind of triggered this. But, Britt did kind of realize... Well, Britt kind of realized two things. One was about what Terry said as far as, if we don't take this job, somebody else will. And they're going to treat the hospital like it's a business, not like it's about people and staff and patients and stuff like that. And that was number one. And I felt like that was going to be the number one trigger. And number two was, well, actually, I'll tell you the truth, I think that was about it. I don't even remember what Jackson Smith is saying. Because I know he was talking about Carly and Jason. I was like, I just don't care. But, somewhere along the line in the conversation that they were having, Britt kind of realized that she does love what she does. Now, one thing that I did like when Britt was sitting there talking to Terry at first was the fact when Terry brung out, when Terry pretty much threw Britt's relationship in Monica's face, you know, also about the whole Cyrus and Note thing. So she apologized after that, and she was, I don't even remember why she said it. I felt like that was one of those things, even if she had beef with her, or whatever, did she forget that Jason is her son? Like, why would you want to sit there and throw that in her face in front of Monica like that? Sorry about that. Oh my goodness, I guess this is what happens when you live like near like a major like streetway or whatever. Like, somebody was blasting their music like there was no tomorrow. Like everyone on the block needed to sit there and hear this person's disgusting, nasty ass song. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, what was Terry even Smith there thinking? Anyway, towards the end of the episode, Britt's like, you know, listen, we'll do this whole co-captain thing or whatever. We got a lot of work to do, and she agrees to do it. I personally think it's really stupid. I don't understand why Monica felt the need to have Terry work with Britt for it. I think Britt was doing a fine job, unless the staff don't feel comfortable after the whole Cyrus thing. That's the only reason. That's the only thing I could sit there and think of why, you know, she would even sit there and suggest this co-captain thing. Because it's stupid, let's be honest. Britt has the experience, she has the knowledge, and she has the fortitude to sit there and do it. As good as people may sit there and think that Terry is still new, and she hasn't run a hospital like, Britt has. So even to sit there and say, oh, well, we're gonna give Terry the job would just make no sense. But you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. They're gonna decide to work together, so I guess cool. And I think the last scene was Jason and Brando just talking about, you know, the fact that he turned him down for the baby and everything like that. And you know, he doesn't really want anything to do with the business, even though he helped Carly, you know, kind of backed off Joey Novak, you know. He also said thanks to each other, and that was about it. I can't really remember anything else that they really did that was any important, so, let me just check my notes again. I think that's about it. I don't think this was a bad episode. It was actually good. It just took a while to get good. It literally took a good half an hour before things start to roll and things start to get kind of good. I know I'm missing something. I always feel like I'm missing something. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I will see you in the next video.